Hey guys, Jordan Mellor here from FHG. In this interview, we chat to Anmol Singh, who is a serial entrepreneur, trader, author, investor, you name it, he's probably done it. His story is absolutely incredible, moving to London from India as a student, struggling to get a job, to all of a sudden buying his very own Ferrari with cash. Stay tuned, have a listen, and I hope you enjoy. So, Anmol, I think the best thing to start is to let everyone know who you are and what it is you do with yourself.
Sure. So my name is Anmol, and I've been trading the stock market and currency markets for about 10 years now. And then we also have our academy, Live Traders, where we provide education, courses, and training for those looking to learn the stock market, looking to do what we're doing it as a career, or perhaps they want to do it as a side income or as a side job. Maybe they already have a job, they already have a business, and they want to just do it on the side. So that's what we offer, just courses, training, and programs, along with like advisory services, like newsletters and chat rooms where people can come hang out with us and kind of watch us do what we're doing in our trades. And, some people choose to do the same ones, and some people want to learn and want to do it themselves. So that's kind of what I do. Most of my day right now is, spent trading, and then rest of the day is just coaching and answering student emails and things of that nature.
Fantastic. So where did this all begin? Where did you begin?
Sure. So, I've been trading since 2010. That's when I started trading in 2010. And when I started originally, I was at that time I was in India, and then I moved over to London to do my bachelor's degree. So I did that, I got my bachelor's degree. And then when the time came to like apply for jobs and stuff, I applied everywhere and I couldn't get it. Didn't get any, just got like a couple interviews, but they didn't go anywhere. So I was like, well, I gotta, figure out what I want to do on my own, because clearly the degree was a waste of money and waste of time because I'm not getting anywhere. So that's when I started like trading, dabbling into the markets, lost a bit of money in the first year. And then eventually came across Jared, who had this, coaching and training program he was doing for a different trading firm. So that's when I got started, took the course, joined the trading firm, and then I was just trading for the firm as their trader, as a proprietary trader. So I was trading their capital and their money in exchange for a percentage profit split. So that's how I got my start in trading. And then as I got successful in the firm, I started doing coaching and training for their firm, coaching their new hires and training the new hires on how to trade. And then eventually that firm got bought out. So I touched base with Jared. I said, hey, clearly what you're doing works. I'm here, your case study. Let's just team up together and let's start something. So that's when we started it in 2015.
Fantastic. So when you first started trading and entering that journey, I understand, coming from the background myself, and I know many people that have, it can be scary for the people around you, because obviously if they don't know what you're doing, it's not very trustworthy, it's not very consistent at the beginning anyway. How did your friends, family kind of react to you getting involved into training as a full-time career?
Sure. So my family originally, they were very supportive, like, hey, whatever you want to do, we'll support you. So they were with me, although I'm pretty sure they were skeptical of me, right? They were skeptical of trading in general. That's like it's gambling. And that's what most people think. Oh, it's like gambling. You're betting on prices of stocks. So a lot of people didn't get it. The same thing with my friends. In the beginning, they were like, are you really good at this? You know what you're doing? They're all very skeptical, which is rightly so, right? If somebody doesn't know about the markets, then, before I knew about the market, I would think the same thing, So it's normal for them to think that. But in the end, my parents definitely were supportive. And I just had a belief in me, because when I met Jared, like I could see somebody who's already doing it. I met him, we had dinner together. I could see the house he's living in, the car he's driving. I could see his trading account where I could see he's making money. So I'm like, it clearly works. So all I got to do is I got to just find a way to make it work for me and just stick to it. So, I had a belief in myself, so I kept through it. I didn't really listen to all the people left and right of me. I just, went with what my gut feel was, and, proved to be right. And now it's funny because now everybody changed their perspective. And now I'm getting messages from those people. Hey, how do I get started? Or, oh, remember we met in college. You were just starting out then. Can you help me now? So, now obviously they get it, which is fine because, same thing with like, let's say you take an artist, a musician. Right? Nobody cares when he's playing on the street, right? And suddenly now he's Ed Sheeran. Now everybody cares about it, So that's how life works. It's normal.
Yeah, 100%. I've had the same thing on my end as well. Normally, your biggest doubters turn into your biggest fans later down the road. Did the people doubting you ever have a toll on you? Did they ever play on your mind, thinking, "Oof, am I doing the right decision here?"
Yeah, I mean, I will be lying if I said it didn't. In the first year, definitely did. Especially when I wasn't making any money. Now it doesn't affect because I have results to prove it. But in the first year, I didn't make any money as a trader. So at that time, it did affect me because I was looking at all my friends. They're getting $100,000, $200,000 jobs, straight out of college, and here I am in my dorm room trying to figure this, stuff out, trying to figure out how a trading thing works. So at that time, I definitely had doubts. I was like, maybe should I just continue my job search? And what am I doing? And look at all these people getting jobs, and I'm still in my dorm room. So it did play a toll. But in the end, one good thing I had was like a mentor and a role model who was already making it, and that definitely helped. If I was just buying an online course and trying to learn it, it would have been much harder, and I probably would have given up. But I had Jared at the time was mentor. I was skyping him all day. We had that back and forth discussion, which really really helped in the beginning and kept me going. So yeah, doubts were definitely there, and doubts will definitely come again. It's just about you persevering through it and you making sure your trading plan works.
Fantastic. So, switching gears a little bit, what does a typical day look like for you from morning to afternoon?
So a typical day for me, it's actually, in the beginning it was much different. Right? When you're starting out, it's very different. When you're starting out, it takes you a little bit longer to do everything. That might take me not even a second to do it now. So in the beginning, it used to be very different. Where I used to be up at 8, spend an hour scanning for stocks that I want to trade that day, and then last 30 minutes filtering them, making it into a smaller watch list, and then the rest of the day was just trading, trading, trading. And then after trading was done, just coaching and training my traders, running the chat room, going into the Forex room, running the Forex analysis room, and monitoring my swing trading portfolio and things of that nature. Now it's a little bit more relaxed because now I have a set system. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and it doesn't take me that long. So now my day starts at 9, right? Day starts at 9. I do make my watch list for about 30 minutes and trade till about 11. And from 11 to 12, I coach the traders in the stocks room and then take a 15-minute break. 12:15, I start the Forex room, and I do that for about 30 minutes a day. I look at some currency trades that we're going to be taking. And then usually I'm done working by 1 o'clock. And then the rest of the day is just, answering questions on email, answering questions via Instagram, or looking at my longer term portfolio, see if I need to adjust something. That's kind of most of the time is spent. So, now I have a lot of free time, so just looking to focus on what else I could do, what else I can improve upon, and other things I can get into. So I have some real estate properties. Hopefully tomorrow I'm actually going to be signing one of the leases for one of my properties. So that's nice. So that's kind of what most of the day looks like. It's a lot of phones and emails. That's basically the work for me.
Well, congratulations on that lease. Hopefully that goes through for you.
Thank you.
So, as being a trader myself, I can understand, especially in Forex, how the market's never shut. It can be quite difficult to switch off, which is important. You need to be able to switch off and walk away from it so you start fresh the next day. Is there some type of process you have or something you do that helps you just switch off from work for that day?
Like what you got to do is just, physically getting up is a big thing, right? So like, a lot of people keep sitting at their desk and, they're not really being productive. So for me, I focus on a small burst of productivity, like 20, 30 minutes, focus, I'll work, answer all my emails, do that. And I'll step up, and stepping out means not sitting on your computer doing other things like physically get up and, go out for a walk, clear your head, come back in, and another 20 minutes I go at it, answering emails, making content, making videos. And then I gotta step up again. I get up, get a drink, get a coffee, go out for a drive. Right now it's beautiful out there. Put the top down, go for a drive, come down, go for a walk. And, now you're like, okay, let's do another 20 minutes. So that's kind of how I work myself, is in bursts of 20 minutes.
Awesome. One thing I definitely have noticed throughout your career and in your journey as well is you're an author. You wrote a book. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. So I published a book last year. It's called Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making It in Life. So it's a personal development book. The book has nothing to do about trading. It's simply personal development, success tips, things that have helped me along my journey and things that I wish somebody taught me when I was starting out. So this book is kind of basically I wrote it for me, but now imparting it out to other people. Like, here's the 10 tips, 10 keys that really helped me get to where I'm at, and how you can instill that in your own life. So that's kind of what I covered in the book. It's a very short book, short, quick read. But the good part is every chapter I end with, okay, here's 5 things you need to do before you move on to the next chapter. Because what I don't want is what a lot of people do, which is get a lot of books, they read it, and they're like, okay, on to the next book. And they read the next book, and they're on to the next book. But they're not actually doing anything. So this book is more about like doing. So every chapter at the end, before you can move on to the next one, you have to make sure you do these 5 things first. So that way you know that you're actually learning and not just reading a bunch of information that isn't going to get you anywhere.
Fantastic. How did you find the book writing process? Did you really enjoy it? Are you potentially planning another one?
So I don't have any books in plan yet. I think the next one will just be when I've reached, I have certain levels of success that I want to achieve. So once I achieve that, the next one's simply going to be an autobiography, but I'm not there yet. So I don't think I'm going to be writing another book. But as far as the book writing journey, for me, it was easy because I did it very intelligently. Like in the beginning, it was tough when I was starting out writing it because I was like, well, I'm not a writer. My first language isn't even English to begin with. So like to write down the grammatical issues are going to be a bit of a problem, So I don't want to write it down, and I'm not a good writer at all. Like if I started writing a book, I could never finish. So what I did is I said, hey, how can I intelligently get this book without hiring an editor who messes the whole context up so my voice doesn't come out in the book? So what I did is I actually narrated the book first in audio format, literally without any preparation. I opened up a microphone and I started talking for like 2+ hours. I just kept talking into the microphone. And then what I did is I had somebody transcribe everything I said in that audio. So now I have the whole book in written format. And then I hired an editor to compile it into a book format, make it into different chapters and things like that. So for me, it turned out to be a great process to do it. Just talk for a couple hours, get my thoughts out, and then have somebody turn it into a book.
Oh, that's an extremely intelligent way to go about it, especially if you don't enjoy writing or you struggle to be able to put your words on the paper. I mean, I don't think there's a better way to go about it.
Yeah.
Going back into trading now, would you be comfortable discussing some wins and losses throughout your career?
Sure. I mean, I've had variety of wins, variety of losses, but like unlike other traders that have like big wins or big gains or big moves or big trades that they've made, I honestly don't have any like big monster trades that have got me to where I am. I've had a series of small trades, so that's how I trade. I trade very like consistently, conservatively. I don't shoot for the home run. I don't have any trades that are monster gains or monster trades. I just have quick, small gains that have built my wealth over time rather than over 1 year or 1 month of success. So for me, every winner is the same value because I put a target on every trade. So as soon as I hit trade, let's say hits $2,000 profit, I'll be out of that trade if it's a day trade. And so every winner is the same, exact. There's no winner more than a couple of grand as a day trader because that's where I max it out. Same thing with my loss. I cut my losses at $1,000 for a day trade. So that's that. I'm never going to lose more than $1,000. I'm never going to make more than $2,000 on a day trade. But that's what I keep doing consistently over and over. And that's what I attribute my success to. As far as, swing trades, yeah, I've had some big gains in that one. But again, the reason I don't go into numbers is because I think a lot of newer traders focus too much on the dollar amount. And I want them to focus on the process. I want to focus on the reward to risk ratio that you've made. Because if I tell you, about a $30,000 trade I had last month, people would think, oh, $30,000. But, what did you risk to make that is very important. That's very important. I think a lot of traders will say, I made 100,000 on that trade, but what were you risking? You're probably risking 200,000 to make that 100,000, which is not really worth it. So reward to risk ratio is the only true measure I want anybody to judge themselves by.
Yeah, fantastic. Was there ever a point throughout your career where you just wanted to pack in trading? You were quite done, fed up. You just like, look, maybe this isn't for me. As you discussed before, when you're in uni and all your mates were getting jobs and stuff, was there ever a time where you were literally on the verge of just packing it in and going elsewhere?
Oh, every single day in the first year, especially when I joined the prop firm. When I joined the prop firm I was working with in New York, so I was trading their money. So I was like technically an employee, you could say, right? So I was trading their money. So they had levels you had to cross. So let's say level 1, make $200 a week, 2 weeks in a row, right? Then you go to level 2. Level 2, your targets are to make, let's say, 500 a week, 2 weeks in a row. Then you go to level 3, your goal is to make 750 2 weeks in a row. Then your goal is to make 1,000 2 weeks in a row. So you keep going up every level, and each level they give you more money to trade with. So I got from level 1 to level 6, like without any problem, breeze through right it. Then level 7, it took me a long time to get to a level 7 trader. At that time, I think our goal was to make $6,000 a week, 2 weeks in a row. And I kept on getting like 5,800, 5,700. So I didn't make that goal. So I never got promoted in the firm. And I was like, damn it, I got to start again. Next week I start again. And now first week, let's say I made $6,000. Okay, goal met. But I got to do it again. Next week I made 5,700. I'm like, fell short by 300. And with that firm, it was no discretion. It was like, that's the goal. Like even if a dollar short, you're not getting promoted. So I kept doing that. And at 3 weeks in a row, I couldn't do it. And I was at a point where I was like, I guess this is the plateau. Like I've reached the peak. I can't get any further. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just quit. Or there were also days when I started out when I just couldn't follow my trading plan. Right? I was getting out of the trades early. I just couldn't hold on to them until my target. And I just kept getting out early or making stupid mistakes like not getting out of a losing trade, holding it longer. So I had all these issues in the first year where I was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should give up. But again, that's where mentors come in. Mentor come in and say, hey, you're actually doing a pretty good job. You just got to make these few changes, few tweaks, and you'll be good to go. So I think that really helped me get to that other level.
If you were to talk to someone, I'm sure you do every day through live traders as well, of someone who's at that plateau right now, who's struggling or is ready to give up, what advice would you give to them?
I think the advice that you need to give is that, you need to first figure out, are you doing everything in your power, right, to ensure that you're giving it the best shot? Like, are you really? And you got to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, am I really doing everything that I should be doing? Am I really giving it my best shot? Have I taken or learned every resource that's out there? I think that's what people need to judge themselves by, is not by the result, but how much effort you're putting in. So somebody says, hey, I want to start a new podcast and, I want to do that. But I don't know if I should give up, I should quit. Well, here's the thing. Are you doing everything in your power to make that a successful business, right? Are you reaching out to 30 different people every day, right? Are you scheduling things, right? Are you making contacts with other podcasters? So like a lot of those things come into play. Same thing with trading. Am I really following my trading plan? Or have I really tested my trading plan? Have I back tested it? Do I have accountability? Do I have consequences? Do I have a trading partner, trading buddy, right? Have I learned? Have I taken trading courses? So like all those things you need to ask yourself. If you're doing everything you can in your power, right, then you could be okay to perhaps give up if it's still not working. But for 99.99% of people, they're not doing everything that's supposed to be done, right? You know it, like you haven't taken the education, or you've taken the education and you're not following through on it, right? So there's a variety of different factors. So I would only say, be brutally honest with yourself. Are you really doing everything that you can to make yourself a success? Very important. Anything, business, trading, anything in life.
Yeah, massive importance with that. Looking back over your journey, I think self-growth is something that happens whether we want it to or not over time. Can you look back to a time, let's say when you first moved to London to study your degree, is there any major key differences you see in yourself looking back and then looking at where you are now?
I think there are definitely major, I think I always had the mindset that I will figure it out. Like, I think that's one thing that I will give myself credit for, is that I never really doubted myself, I always had the belief that I'm going to figure it out. I might not get it in the first try, might not get it in the second try, but I will eventually figure it out. I think that's one of the beliefs that it's very important to cultivate, in any habit. But as far as the big changes, I think the big changes are that don't shy away from asking for help. That's one of the things. Like when I moved to America, like New York, I literally knew nobody. I just got here with some bags and I just got here. But I figured everything out, met people, and don't shy away from asking for help. Same thing with trading or business. If you're struggling, if you're going through a tough time, you can't figure it out, just ask somebody. Because the good part about being online is there's always somebody who's already doing where you want to be, right? Somebody's already doing what you want to do. Somebody's already there where you want to be. So simple. Hey, get in touch with them. Pay them if you have to, right? I mean, I still to date spend probably 10% of everything that I make every month on some form of learning, either hiring a coach, either hiring a mentor, either hiring a business coach, either hiring a fitness coach, either hiring, hey, like the other day, last Saturday, I was like, man, I'm wearing the same clothes every day. I want to get something else. I want to change my style. I hired a stylist, come with me, help me shop, pick my clothes and everything. So there's always somebody in every area of your life. Somebody's doing better than you, right? There's always somebody that knows more than you. Just pay him, just hire him, right? Can't hire him, can't pay him, message him. Hey, can I take you out for coffee? Pick your brain for a little bit, right? Simple things like that. Send them a gift. So there's all sorts of things you could do. All I would just say is cultivate the mindset of resourcefulness. It's not about how much resources you have. It's about how resourceful you are.
Fantastic. What drives you? What's ticking in the back of your mind that keeps you progressing and keeps you wanting that next level?
I mean, that's a very deep question. There's a variety of things, right? There's a variety of things. I mean, you could say money, you could say material things. You could also say, a hunger to prove yourself. All the people who didn't believe in me, or naysayers, or there's a variety of reasons. If you dig into it, I mean, that could be a whole episode on its own. But it's about proving something to myself that hey, I can do it. Proving something to the world too that hey, I can do it. So there's also that element to it. But yeah, there's a variety of elements: money, success, obviously good lifestyle, and then also proving to myself that I can do it.
Fantastic. We're going to end here on a little bit of a brighter note. Something I haven't passed over is you've recently bought yourself a new car. I want to discuss how that felt being able to drive out of that dealership, what could be potentially your dream car, and tell us a bit about it.
Sure. So, I mean, I set a goal for myself when I moved from India that, one day I'm going to buy a Ferrari. And I was like, I want to buy a Ferrari, but I don't want to lease it. I don't want to rent it. I want to buy it, like when I can actually afford it. And I don't want to finance it either. That was one of the goals I set when I was a kid in India. I was like, I'm going to buy it with cash one day. And a couple of weeks ago was that day when I walked into the dealership. I was trying out different cars, McLarens, Lamborghinis, but when I got into Ferrari, it just felt right. It was a good mix. It wasn't too sporty. It wasn't, too showy. It was a nice car, but it was also a Ferrari, and it sounded great. So when I got in it, pressed the button, and I was like, this is it. And now is the time. So I just pretty much the same day when I was test driving, I bought it that same day, and following weekend I picked it up. So it felt great, And the first couple of days, I remember it would be like midnight midnight, and I'm not able to sleep. I just went down to the garage, just sat in the car for a little bit, and I felt great. It was a great feeling for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Well, Anmol, I'd like to send a massive thank you for doing this interview. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and I wish you all the success for the future. What a truly amazing story and success from Anmol Singh. If you guys want to reach out to him, just do so by in the bio or tagged in this post. You will find his details. Absolute huge shout out to him for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.